Well, welcome to Put It All on Red. I'm Roberta the Tool Lady. I got two dynamic men with me tonight. I picked them, and also they are also, I would like to say, friends. They also entrusted me with their platforms because both of them do have dynamic platforms. I have One Fun Guy. I have Clinton Patton Sr. And Clinton, could you tell me what's at the bottom? See, you. What is that relationship? All right, and trauma coach. All
Mm-hmm.
right, okay. All right. Well, welcome, guys, and welcome to the audience. We got a dynamic show, guys. You want to go ahead and introduce yourselves to the audience?
Sure. All right. So I'm One Fun Guy podcast. I have my own platform that I do on YouTube. I met Roberta on Facebook. We connected. We became instant friends. And I was like, be a guest on my show. She's like, would you be a guest on mine? I'm like, absolutely. And so, Roberta, thank you for having me. I appreciate this. You are awesome. Keep doing what you're doing.
All right. Thank you. You're not going anywhere yet. All right. All right. All right. Now, how about you, Cliff? You want to introduce yourself?
Well, hey, it's me again. It's Clinton Patton Sr., your relationship and trauma coach. Um, I got I'm here to spread a little education, I guess.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good. That's good. Well, I'm excited because I got a show lined up for you guys, for our audience tonight, because I'm going to be asking you guys because I really admire both of you, you know, and I'm going to share more and more of why I admire you as the show goes on and as I ask the questions, right? That's why I set it up like this because I just feel like sometimes people get stuck and they never answer to who they really are inside. You know, I remember talking to the One Fun Guy, and he was telling me about he and his wife. I know Clinton and I go back years, and I've watched
Mhm.
him go on his journey to who he is right now. And I know that both of you guys are so creative and just really masterminds at a lot of things, and I know that it's difficult. I know it's difficult for me to be creative, and people like, that's nothing, or you're kind of discourage you, or kind of share a light, like, oh, well, you know what, Roberta, that's really when I'm like, yeah, this is it, right? But I watch you guys take the ball, run with it, pop, just run with it, right? I've watched One Fun Guy take the ball, run with it. I've watched Clint take the ball, run with it. He might get a little down, come back up. So let's do a mental health check. Um, so I would say I come from a therapeutic background, so I want a word. So give me a word for tonight of how you're feeling, your mental health.
So right now, I'm excited, right? So the topic is great. The discussion is great. I think the forum is going to be fantastic. And, like Clinton said earlier, if we can educate or at least, if we can entertain, just be fun as people, or empower people, like that's what I try to do on my podcast. So I'm excited just to be here and get the conversation like in the forefront, and kind of maybe open up somebody else's expectations of what we're trying to do.
Okay. All right, excited. How about you, Clint?
I'm going to lean toward prevention.
Okay. All right.
Prevention. Hopefully tonight we are able to provide the listeners with tools to prevent themselves from entering into situations or relationships that could potentially be toxic and or abusive.
Okay. All right. That's good. That's good. I tell you, these guys are dynamic. Um, I feel like I'm with Batman and Robin right now. I don't know if I got to be a Catwoman or not, but well, I'm excited. I'm excited. I want to know where this dialogue takes us to because, again, I've watched so many people suppress really who they are and not show different sides of themselves because of fear. Really, that's basically what it is, or past, resentments or shame. Now, the audience question is, what are ways that you show you love yourself as a man? So I'm gonna ask part one first. What are ways you show yourself that you love yourself?
Well, um, I show myself that I love myself by doing the things that I'm good at and by exuding or modeling love for other people.
That's good. That's good. So being confident and competent and also sharing love. And love is like over everything. Love is over everything. That's good. How about you, one fun guy?
So I would say to try to find the little victories. If you can do something that's going to make yourself a better person, then do it. We're all humans and we all find the need to do things that are enjoyable for ourselves. So it's okay to splurge every once in a while. It's okay to do the things that you want to do. And I know that a lot of people, will make excuses of why they can't do it, but I always try to find the enablement to do it, to be whatever you can do to just help yourself through that minute, hour, day. So I try to always, encourage people to just enjoy the little things, like it, do the fun stuff, and you'll get through the day, and it always seems to work for me. So
All right.
I'd like to add granting myself grace when I
Oh,
make mistakes.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's a good one too. Yeah. So I hear one fun guy say, "Be mindful." I hear Clint say, "Grace," uh, and also being competent and feeling confident, and also love, which love over covers everything. So love is like the number one answer, right? If we were playing, what is that? Is it Jeopardy? No. Which one is Steve Harvey on?
Family
Family Feud.
Feud.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
Family Feud. That be number one. But the other ones would certainly come down, and I think an investment in yourself is the best way to show that you love yourself, right? And I'm asking you guys because you are men, and unfortunately, our society, to me, doesn't allow men to to put themselves on the front, off that front burner. It's kind of like you're a man, you don't need to take care of yourself. What do you guys think?
Well, to I guess it depends in the circle of people that you're with. If you're with uplifting, powerful people, you'll find yourself doing the things that you want to do, and you're not really kind of embedded with people that don't want you to succeed or be successful. So in my experience, the people that I follow on social media are like the more uplifting people. So like a David Goggins, for example, that'll tell you to get off your butt and go do it. Guys like that are like empowerful people, the Grant Cardones of the world, and the you can do it, if you can dream it, it'll happen type of thing. Think big, win big. So those are the people that I follow. So that's kind of the mindset that I fall into. If you follow people that are kind of negative and already weighing you down, I think you're going to have that negative, side of, well, I'll just do it tomorrow, or I'll do it next month, or I'll do it next year. So I think the people you follow and the people you let in your lives matter. So if you can just change the people that you follow on social media to more powerful people and more impactful people, your mindset's going to be better. And mindset is everything. And one of the guys I follow is Mitch Aguiar. He's a Navy SEAL, and his thing is mindset. So he puts you in that mode to think to the next level. So if you are willing to take a chance and be vulnerable, I would say follow people that are impactful.
I like that. I like that. And how about you, Clint?
I think the key is surrounding yourself with people who allow you to grow. And when you're around people who allow you to grow, what that means is you're not around people who consistently brings up your mistakes or your downfalls, and they never let you be a different person. They never let you grow or learn from your mistakes because they keep throwing it back in your face. So it's very important to make sure that you align yourself with people who will allow you to grow, and you have to also be able to allow people to grow within your circle because you should be growing together.
Love that. I love that. Yeah.
Also, I like
Now,
to add,
go
also I
ahead.
like to add that if you're around someone who states, "I would never allow no one to change me," you are around the wrong person because in any situation that you are in your life and this person is adding value to your life, you're going to grow. You're going to grow. And when there is growth, there will be change.
I like that. I like that. I like that. And I think it's uncomfortable, right? Because even to be honest, for you guys to come on to a podcast, and I know that one fun guy, he does it every, he's online like almost. You guys are so dedicated. He and his wife like almost every day, right?
She motivates me to do it. So yeah.
So I know that it takes a whole lot. And I know that for Clint, for you to continue to come on as well, I know that it takes a whole lot. It takes a whole lot of self-discipline, of believing in yourself, because basically you're your own product right now, right? You're
Hmm.
your own product. So I believe that that is the most important thing, is being around people who allow you to be who you are, and and
Right.
and just, and want you to grow, and I'm not I guess the word would say jealous of who you are, right? Not, it's not a conflict of who you are. So I believe that's good stuff. Now, my last part of that question for you guys is I just asked and one of our audience members did ask, do you guys set out aside time to take care of yourself, self care time?
I do. So
Okay.
actually, one of my guests 2 weeks ago was Alexa, and she's a barber, and she does my beard. She grooms me. So I always make time to set myself up to enjoy the little things. Right. I can't stress that enough. Just getting, going to a barber. Obviously, I'm balding, so I don't have the proper requirements of getting a full haircut. But she takes care of me. She grooms me. She does my beard. She does my hair. I try to, go as much as I can to do the things that make me feel good. So, if it's, going swimming or going to a spa, getting your nails done sometimes, right? Whenever I go on vacation, I always try to get a manicure just to look my best for people. So it's just the little things, that always kind of, keep it up. And, I know everyone makes fun of, with the manscaping thing, but the reality is, the better, you feel about yourself, the more confidence you have. So I always, try to maintain my beard and groom myself and make myself be the best person I can be. And I look it too. So I do my best for that. So yeah, definitely, taking care of yourself is a number one priority, or it should be up there.
That's right. Self care is the best care. All right. How about you, Clint? And hey, by the way, Clint said you didn't have to give up the secret about not having no hair on top and have whiskers in the
Sometimes
beard.
we're not blessed with it, right?
He said you didn't have to throw them out like
Those long flowing locks, you know what I mean? I had them in my 20s, and in my 30s, I did not. So
that. All right. How about you, Clint?
Well, my self care is I like to
Exactly.
play. So for my self care, I like to go play basketball. I like to play flag football. Um, I like to be around people who are affectionate. I may go get a pedicure every now and then. I'm not, afraid of it. It actually feels good. But for the most part, um, my self care is pretty much surrounding myself with people who are peaceful. Because sometimes, as a man, we deal with a lot of stress that sometimes we have no control over, just because of societal reasons, or if you're around people who have the traditional beliefs that may be ineffective or even harmful as it relates to relating to a man. So my self care is pretty much sports and maybe hanging with my kids. And I actually have a barber too. I know I don't have a little, but I got a barber too. So it's almost time for me to go back. So that's my
Okay.
self care.
If you have some too. All right. Well, I love this. I love this conversation because, like I said, I don't think men get to talk about it enough. They don't talk about it enough. And then what I really love, which, like I said, as we go throughout the show, that both of you guys are entrepreneurs and both of you guys are believing in yourself, right? And
Right.
so it says not everyone is meant to go on the journey with you. Uh, yeah, journey of life with you. That's true. That's
Hey,
true. Not every.
before we head to the next question, can I just go back on the self care too? I know Clinton touched on it a little bit, but also, self care we always think is something physical, but mental self care could be going on a golfing trip with your buddies, going on a vacation, singing in the shower, the little things, right? So it doesn't necessarily have to be something physical. It could be something that's low cost, effective, just taking a drive, or getting in your car and taking a road trip, going on a drive and just cranking the radio for an hour, just things that kind of clear your headspace as well. So all those things, even a hobby could be, self-care. So we always kind of lean towards the physical stuff, the grooming and things like that, but anything really could be a self-care if you just take a mental break from life, playing video games, or something that you enjoy doing is self-care.
I love that. I love that. So now we're going to go into, I have a reel that I'm going to share. And then I'm going to tell you guys another part about why I really, I'm inspired by both of you guys' lives because I know that you're both entrepreneurs. And again, I can't say it enough because it's scary. But you guys took that leap and you guys believe in yourselves. So we're going to go into this clip. And it's a lot of people that are stuck. They're stuck in jobs that they don't care about. They're stuck in lives that they're tired of. So let me try to get this up for us. Let's see.
Desires of your heart are there for a reason.
Yeah.
You already know that you are at a dead end job. Why do we do that to ourselves?
Ooh.
Why do we get so close to death at a job and allow ourselves to keep going dancing with it?
There's not enough in this cup.
Right? Make your way out, honey. I always tell people the first thing I always suggest, especially if you have an office or you got a space at work, honey, take everything out of it that belongs to you. Don't have nothing up there that feels personal. Because that means you want to stay. You got to start telling the environment, honey, I don't live here. I don't belong here. Honey, take them pictures down. Honey, take them little words and things, whatever from home. Take all that down. Let that space look like anybody can come and sit there. Get yourself prepared to leave. Start making your exit plan. You deserve your dreams.
Okay, guys, what are you guys thinking about?
So, I mean, I can touch on that from personal experience with my wife, leaving an executive job to start her own business. Um, it was almost that identical clip. She was coming home every day stressed, crying, working 85, sometimes 90 hours a week, going on, business trips that she didn't want to go on. She was just in a really bad spot. And I kept telling her, I was like, listen, do what you need to do for yourself. Well, she didn't want to walk away from the money. And I said, I understand that. But I said, at the end of the day, money is not everything. So she started buying clothes that fit her comfortably and wearing them. And it just got to the point where she said one day, I'd really like to start selling this. And I said, well, I said, try the trajectory of going and selling clothes for a couple hours a night and see how you do. Well, she did very well. So she did that for a month. She says, I really think I can do this. I said, perfect. I says, what do you want to do? She's like, well, I'd rather just see if this will take off for me and work and do this. And I said, then do it. So she was scared and afraid, and she was getting her hair done. And I typed up her resume, letter of resignation for her. And I went to bed. She woke up the next morning and she hit the laptop and she started crying. And she told her boss that day that I'm giving you my 2-week notice. I'm not coming back. He begged her to stay, said, we'll give you everything. She's like, if you wanted me to stay, you would have done that before this. She knew how bad she was being treated and how badly the environment was for her. And it was toxic. And so all the things that her boss was saying now, he could have done that 6 months ago, a year ago, all those times when he put her, I said, just leave. And I said, if worse goes to worse and this fails, you can always go back to the corporate job. And now 7.5 years later, here we are with her own business. Her boutique is growing every year. It's getting bigger and bigger. And we couldn't have, set the tone better. But she did have a game plan. She had an exit plan, and she had something that she wanted to do. So I'm always big on social media when I say that, right? I'm like, if you want to make social media your livelihood, plan accordingly. Have a game plan, write things down, make sure you're able financially to do it, and you're also stable enough to keep growing. And that's kind of what, I always say. So I want people to follow their dreams, and I want it. But you also have to take a kind of a realistic approach to it. You can't just quit and not have anything lined up. But if you have something lined up and you're working towards it, follow your dreams and follow your goals. And like they said on the video, we talk about death because we get closer to it every day. Tomorrow's never guaranteed. So if you can do the things in life that make you happy, maybe it's time to just start focusing more on that and find your exit strategy at where you're not happy and make yourself happy. And I'm not saying everybody can do it, but it's attainable. You can definitely do it if you put your mind to it.
All right. Thank you. I agree with you. How about you, Clint?
Well, I don't ever remember a time growing up where I said, I'm going to get a good job and I'm going to work for a good company and I'm going to have a family. I've never remember saying that. I
Okay.
have never been the type that enjoyed working for someone else. I did not want to help someone else achieve their dreams because I have my own dreams. So for me, I don't like the being told when to come to work, when to take a lunch, when to take a break. If I need to take off, I don't like being having to ask someone for my own freedom. That annoyed me when I did it. So I have been self-employed since 2009, I think, 2009. And it's been hard, but it's been the best thing for me because I enjoy my freedom. I enjoy my time to be able to go to my kids' school functions or pick them up from school, take them to and from school. I could be a parent, and what I noticed is that when I put in long hours, those were hours that I was taking away from my family at that time. And I will say that it definitely caused relationship problems because the whole time you were explaining to your partner that you're working, and I don't think that it's fair for me to continue to be like, I'm working, so that's why I can't spend time with you. That's not fair. And then you think about the life expectancy rate. Of course, a company is going to want you to break your back at your job because you're making the money. And they're not going to really care about your health. No, they're just going to replace you. So why would I, with a able body, donate my time, my energy, my mental capacity to a job that could replace me at the drop of a dime? To a job that does not care about my family or the things that I have going on in my life because they want me to create this illusion of a professional and a personal lifestyle when it is extremely difficult to have a professional with without the personal because I am a person. So I don't believe in the you're gonna pay me this much money for me to be a slave at your job, and that's why I am what I am today. I know there aren't any organizations that have an African American man that stands against domestic violence and is teaching people how to start and maintain a healthy relationship. They don't. Nobody has a job for me. I had to create my own. Nobody has a career for me. Nobody has a passion for me. I had to create my own.
I like that. I like that.
Are we allowed to play clips on here, or are we copyrighted?
Are you allowed to do what?
Are we allowed to play clips on here, or are we copyrighted? I don't want to get you in trouble.
You can play a clip. You can play a clip if you like.
So I'm going to play this real quick. It might be backwards for your viewers, but it's one of the greatest things I've ever heard, and I always play this for my wife whenever she gets down. And I'm gonna play it now from Kevin O'Leary.
The reason is freedom. There's nothing more beautiful than getting up in the morning, even though you want to go to work, and knowing you don't have to. Money in itself is not the reason to work hard. The reason is freedom. There's nothing more beautiful than getting up in the morning, even though you want to go to work, and knowing you don't.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
like, Clint was saying, it's not always about the money. It's about the freedom, right? To do what you want. If you want to take a day off, you take a day off. My wife has that luxury. I unfortunately don't. So I have a set hours that I need, and it's set. If I want to take a day off, I have to plan a month in advance. I have to write a slip, fill my form out to say, hey, can I get these days off? And then it gets approved or it doesn't. So having the freedom is what it's about. And I play that clip for my wife constantly when she gets down. I'm like, oh, I'm having a bad week or I'm having a bad month. I'm like, you don't have to punch a clock. You wake up when you want to, you go to bed when you want to. You want to take a 3-hour lunch break, you can. You want to take a nap, go ahead. I can't tell my boss, hey, I want to take a nap, right? I'm tired. So what? Yeah. Suck it up. Keep going. So it's the little thing, but freedom is the big one. That's having that is fantastic. And when you work for yourself and you're your own boss, you have that luxury, and that outweighs any money you could ever make.
Right. I agree with that. I've been off and on self-employed for years as well, and it is a certain amount of. One brings just the stress of not knowing, but the truth is, it seemed like even when I was self-employed, I'd still maintain. So, it like Clint said, it's illusion, I think.
Sure.
And also the idea that people have told you this is what it is, right? So, and people have gave you that illusion.
And to go off of that, it is hard work. It's not easy. People see a business owner and a successful one say, oh, well, he had it. He was able to do it. He was given this. You earn it. So when people see it, it is hard work. People watch my wife and they're like, oh, I would love to do what you do and make the amount of money you make. So it is possible, but it's not going to come day one. You work for it and you work hard to it. So it's difficult when you're in that kind of, salesmanship role, when you're selling yourself, but you also work hard to get the things that you do. It's not easy. So I want everybody to realize that, like, don't quit your job to do something that, like, make sure it's for you, that you can do it. And it's success is not measured financially. Success is measured by hard work. So the harder you work and the more you put into it, the more successful you're going to be. And any business person will tell you that. I've gone to thousands of classes now and things like that where business owners speak, and the number one thing they say is hard work. The work you put into it is what you get out of it. So I don't want the viewers to seem like it's just an easy thing to be your own boss. It's great to do it, but it is a lot of hard work, and it's dedication to your craft. So keep that in mind.
So I like what you said. I like that. So here's the thing with the 40-hour work week, which I don't even know who came up with this. Like, who decided that you have to work 40 hours a week?
Henry Ford.
Where is he at so I can slap him?
He created the that
at the end of the day,
books, unfortunately, it was Henry Ford created the modern work schedule that we're on.
It's like this. You go work 8 to 5 for somebody, right? And then they pay you. They make money off of the things that you do for the organization or whatever it does, right? But they pay you just enough to get by. So now, because they trick you into believing that, or making you believe that you have to have money, just enough money to pay your bills. So it's been said that we're like 2 paychecks from being homeless. So think about that. If you have the fear of being homeless, you're going to go to that job. You're going to go to that job even if you don't feel good, because you have a fear of losing your valuables or losing yourself or losing things, right? So I see it as modern day control, because I don't know if y'all know, but working 8 hours is such a it's tiresome. It's very tiresome. It's
We
very
do know.
tiresome. And then when you
We
get
do
home,
know.
if you have kids, you only have a couple hours to spend with your kids, and you got to go to sleep to get back up in the morning about 5, 6 o'clock in the morning to get ready to be at work at 8 and be on time. So it's just, some of these systems need to be changed. They need to be changed. Like the life expectancy rate of someone who's working, you retire at 65, you get a good 15 years to not work. After you gave 65 or 30, my bad. If you know what I'm saying, whenever you decide to work, that don't make sense.
So I will say this, and out of everything I've seen off of social media, my generation, I think we're pretty much all the same age group. Mm-hmm. My parents, when I was a kid, said, go get a job, working a good pay, get a pension, retire. And I think the modern generation, you see these kids being taught entrepreneurship. Go be a TikTok influencer, go be a YouTuber, go make money on social media. And I think that's the drive nowadays, because the generation before me and before them, they were blue collared. They were go get a job in a factory, go work, go. And it's funny because when you watch, some people on social media, whether you like them or you don't, they all say, look at our schools and the way they're set up, right? You sit in desks in a row. It starts from a very early age that they want you to get jobs that you're told what to do. When you're a kid, what do you do when a teacher asks you a question? You raise your hand.
Raise your hand.
What does raising your hand do? It shows that they have control over you. They won't let you talk unless you're called upon, which is what they do in factories. So our American system is set up as a young kindergartner sitting in a row. You're not allowed to run around. You're not allowed to talk back. You're not allowed to question things. If you do, you're bad. If you ask the teacher a question and you question her or him, you're scolded. You don't ask questions. You're here to learn. So you're taught at a very early age, through all of grammar school and high school, that you are going to go to work for somebody else. And I think this is the first generation where they actually teach entrepreneurship, where they say, listen, maybe going to school is not the best thing. Maybe we will homeschool. Maybe we will teach you how to use, life skills outside of a classroom. And I think this is the first generation of kids that are doing that. And you look at, again, the Mr. Beast of the world. He started YouTubing when he was 14 years old. At 26, he's a billionaire. He used social media as a platform. So I'm not saying every kid at 14 is going to be the Mr. Beast, but at least if they use that ambition and platform to grow, they're not looking at their parents and their grandparents that basically went to work in factories because that's what they were told to do. So I think, it's a little bit off-putting, growing up in that society. And I was one of them. My parents were the same way. They said, get a job when you get older, work for your, they never said be an entrepreneur, be your own boss, open your own business, do that. It was always go to work, get a good job, get a pension, retire. Just like Clinton said.
See, the thing is, what we have not mentioned yet is that we could talk about the stress that working full time affect the stress, the way the stress affects the human body, right? But we also want to take a look at when you work an 8 to 5, when you work a job for a company, your mental health is in jeopardy every single time you go to that job and you are afraid that you might lose it because you may not be on time, or they create these it's based in fear. And the politics of jobs, or 8 to 5s or 9 to 5s, will create anxiety, depression, even trauma, due to the way that these organizations have been taught, or have been in the structure or foundation of these organizations. And then they start to treat employees as if they're cogs in the machine instead of humanizing the workforce. If they humanize the workforce, they will in turn create a more humanistic approach, which will create a better product. Because you have people who are CEOs or whatever, but they never really meet the people that work for them. They never talk to the people that work for them. They never include the people that work for them in decision making for that organization. And so there's a lot of things psychologically that the organizations don't take into account because it becomes all about money. Most of the organizations are rooted in how much money I can make and how much money I can save. So if I could get someone with 15 years of experience and I could pay them $20 an hour, that's fine because I'm probably going to make 5 or 6 thousand a day off of them. Just throw out loose numbers.
Right.
But
And
I'm
being
going to
told
make
that you're
a substantial amount.
right. And being told that you're replaceable.
Yes, for
Right,
sure.
right.
And don't forget, I have a family, so now I'm afraid that
Yeah.
I could lose my job, and then I won't be able to financially take care of my family. So these systems
Responsibilities.
really need an overhaul because they're outdated.
Yeah.
That is true. And I know Keisha put in the little point about going to college, but
Right.
don't let that deter you because the stats do show that people with college education overall will earn more than those who don't. So it is discouraging when you get out of college and you do have a lot of debt. But generally speaking, that degree will earn you more over time than somebody who doesn't have a college degree. And that's not in every situation. But when you take the overall amount of kids that go to school with a degree, the degree does pay off over time. It's just when you're young, you enter the workforce with an unrealistic expectation because you have a degree. You think that because you earned this piece of paper that a university gives you, that you're going to make 6 figures right off the bat. And unfortunately, 95% of college kids will not do that. So it is discouraging, but overall, they will eventually get to that point. And now you start to see, institutions of higher education, not they're not putting out what they're getting back. And I think that right now, college is getting overtly expensive, and it's not producing the amount of students that it once did. So when you look at the amount of kids going to college, it's actually declined because of that reason. So I think it'll all work itself out in the long run, because you can't afford $80,000 a year to go to school. It's just that, when I was in college, it was $80,000 for 4 years. Now you can't touch a degree for less than 200,000. It's very difficult unless you're a scholarship, an athlete, or you're super smart and they give you grants and stuff like that. So I think it's all, the pendulum is swinging back now.
You also could, to add, you could also go to trade school and start a business that way as well. That's less debt.
That's the thing though. That's a negative connotation, right? And
Uh-huh.
and being, my family was in the trades, right? My
Uh-huh.
dad, worked for the water department. And, when you look at people that tell you that, they are the ones that are kind of blacklisted in the community. When you look at Mike Rowe, right? Dirty Jobs. He followed
Yeah.
all the people. What happened? He got canceled. They don't want you. The higher education system doesn't want you to go to there. Go to any high school right now. You'll never find a shop class again. That's just over, right? They don't have that. They don't even, it doesn't even come close. And they don't even have, even for the females, they don't even have cooking classes anymore and things like that. Though that's all obsolete. So those blue collar jobs, they are not forcing people into working. They don't want that. They want people that they can control. And unfortunately, with those jobs, you become your own boss eventually, whether you're HVAC, whether you're a plumber, a carpenter, the list goes on and on. Those, like I said, those careers are all frowned upon, and they have been for a while. And when somebody starts bringing it up, they suppress it as much as they can. So the blue collar jobs, they're not even, they make it now so it looks so dirty and disgusting that people don't even want to do it. And it's a necessity, right? When your AC breaks, who are you going to call? Call an HVAC.
And it also leads to self-employment. It also leads to
Correct. And they don't want that.
entrepreneurship.
Self-employment
right.
is a very
Because most of those, most
in
of
the
them,
health and beauty
yeah.
in the health and beauty field, esthetician can make like 60 an hour, and that's
Mhm.
off of like a 9-month program.
correct.
Once you
I mean, look
become
at
licensed.
look at your average, like we mentioned before, look at your average barber. It's $60
Yes.
for a hair and beard cut. Look at your average tattooist,
Right.
right? Tattoo is about $100 an hour,
Right.
for an artist to do your work. But those jobs, like I said, they're so frowned upon because I don't think the system is built for you to be your own boss. They really,
Mm-mm.
they wrote the tax code to work against you. They wrote everything. So unless you're to the point where you make an absurd amount of money where you can get around it, the average person, they don't want to be their own boss. They do. The system is meant to work against you. So the few people that do own their own business, the ones that are successful, are the ones that should be, they should be put on that pedestal, and they're not.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, this is good stuff, guys. Let's go to a little bit of what tonight is. But you guys are teachers. I seen teachers said you even preaching. So basically, you met your goal tonight as advocating for other people, because I'm telling you, I know a lot of people that have been stuck, and unfortunately, some people are stuck until they, like the real said, until they die. They don't make it anywhere else, right? Because everything's like Clint said, everything is scary to them. Oh, that's scary. Oh, I'm so fearful. Or even when you're saying something to them, like you said, one fun guy, well, like you were saying, even if you say something about, oh, you can go and do this for yourself, you can go into entrepreneurship, it makes them so fearful. So what I wanted you to share with the audience, and this is both of you guys, because I've seen you both reinvent yourselves. And I want to know, how did you do that? How did you prioritize that?
Well, I have always been a leader. I don't like to follow things and people sometimes. However, when there's time for me to follow, I think I'm good in that area. But what I had to realize, there was this saying that said, if you do what you love, you will never work another day in your life, right? And
Right.
so I sat down and I thought about what that meant. And then what came to mind was, there is no fear in love, for perfect love casts out all fear. So if you do what you love, you'll never work another day in your life. But there is no fear in love. So what I took that and I ran with it was like, if I'm doing what I love, then I shouldn't be fearful of doing it because I love it. And if it's really love, then it's made perfect. If I'm doing it out of fear, then it's not love, it is torment. So once I learned that love has nothing to do with fear, the sky's the limit. And because I do face challenges because of the target population and the topic that I discussed, nobody wants to talk about domestic violence prevention. They don't want to talk about it. But I love it because it provides an opportunity to stop someone from entering into a toxic and or abusive relationship that's 99% of the time will end up in death. So my fearlessness comes from the desire to save lives. And I don't have fear of saving lives because I love doing it. And I believe in God, and I believe that God is love. And when I think about, you know, what that means is not just, you show people grace, but you do the right thing. Love is integrity, doing the right thing when nobody's watching, and making sure that you are doing the right thing to make your community or the world that you live in a more loving or peaceful place, because we're supposed to live here. We're not supposed to suffer. We're supposed to live here. We're supposed to have peace. This is not what we are supposed to be doing. We're not supposed to be killing each other. We're not supposed to have racism. We're not supposed to have all these negative things that stem from the root of money, wealth. Our societal problems stem from the excessive greed of wealth. We're not supposed to have that. That's not what love is. Love is freedom. Love is grace. There is no fear in grace either. Like, you got to be able to get. How can I help you if I'm fearful? No, we have to do the right thing.
Okay. How about you, one fun guy? What do you think?
So obviously, everything Clinton said resonates with me 1,000%. I would just say, just take educated risks,
Facts.
because you can always go back to what you know. People have different skill sets that they're not even aware that they have. Everything that you've done in your life is a lesson learned, whether it's a mistake, whether it's something that happened to you. You learn from it, and it's just one more tool you have in your tool belt. So if it's something that you're passionate about and something you want to do, just take, the calculated risk to do it, and the risks will always equal rewards. Just over time, that'll happen. So when you do something and you set out for yourself and you try to see the trajectory of where you're at, you know, you don't know how it's going to play out. But if you don't start it, you'll never know. So, one step forward is the best advice I can give. Just take the risk, make sure that you have, ambition and passion to do it, and everything else will just fall into place.
All right.
Like you
All
said,
right.
and like you said earlier, count the small wins. You said
The
count the small
small
wins.
wins, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Right. The small wins.
A
But
win
they
is a
add
win.
up. They add
Hmm.
up. This has been really awesome. I'm really enjoying listening to you guys because, like I said, I've watched both of you. Clint, I've known you a little bit longer, but I've seen you just reinvent yourself time and time and time. And one fun guy, I've certainly watched you and your wife do a synergy, and it's just awesome to watch. Watch people do that and reinvent themselves and believe in themselves. I think the main thing is to not fear. Because like I said, I'm from a small town, about that small, and that's what I see. It's just a lot of fear when you talk to, you're like, hey, this is a huge world. This is huge, and you don't have to be fearful of everything, and believe in yourself. And you certainly don't have to be fearful of what God has put inside of you, because he has already created you with something. I believe that, one fun guy, we already have those experiences.
Yep.
So even if we do go and get licensed, even if we do go to school, we also have those set skills that came from life. That's where Clinton's passion comes from. That's where your passion comes from, is those skills from life, and they add up.
So
Um,
I will
uh,
just touch on this too. Where we all do the podcasting thing, we all, interview, and we all talk, and we all, have conversations with each other. But you would be surprised how many people, when I say, "What, be a guest on my podcast," and they'll say, "You don't want to hear from me. I have nothing to say. I have no idea," right? And it's like, but you do. We've all lived a life. We've all had experiences. We've all dealt with things. We've all seen things. So life experiences are things you could talk about. So once I say, tell me what you're passionate about. What are your hobbies? What do you like to do? Whether it's your kids, whether it's, your cars, whether it's something, they'll always say, "Oh, I like doing this. So let's talk about that. You like doing that. What else do you enjoy doing?" "Oh, I enjoy this." And I'm like, all right, so right there, we already have now 3 topics we could talk about on my podcast. So you do have something to say. So it's always interesting when you try to, get somebody on your show, on your platform, and the first thing out of their mouth is, "Nobody wants to hear what I have to say. Like, I'm a nobody. I have no importance." And it's like, but you do. Everybody has that.
mhm.
And so I think it's kind of like, like Clinton was saying earlier, with what he does, to the prevention thing like that. Like, we all have experiences, and we all have stuff we could talk about, and we all have a voice. We all have an opinion. And so I think it's our job as podcasters to get that out of people and to say, listen, you are relevant, you are important, and you do have something to say, and the world wants to hear it. And then once you kind of change the mindset and you kind of make them feel comfortable, their worth goes up. And then it also makes your show more valuable. And I've learned that in the short time that I've been podcasting, because people always tell me, "You don't want to hear from me," but I do want to hear from you. So
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, wow. Now, I wanted to know, one of our guests asked, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Who wants to
well,
answer
hopefully on a beach in Mexico. Realistically,
that?
that.
Me too.
But but in all seriousness, in 5 years, like, I hope that my continuation of my podcast keeps growing, and that it's successful. That's my goal, is to have my podcast take off, and that if I can make that my career after my career, I would love to do that. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, at that time we'll be celebrating our 15-year anniversary. So for, wedding anniversary, that'll be, the culmination of, the hard work and the relationship that me and my wife are involved in. And then, just hoping that, the positivity that we can influence people will help them understand what people are going through. And I think, like Clinton said, the world needs love, right? It's so dark, and it's so disturbing, and but you can always find the good. And I just hope in the next 5 years we start to come together as a country, and as a unit, and just humanity all together, that we just start seeing that if we just care for your neighbor, like the Bible says, we'll all be in a better spot. So I hope in 5 years we're all successful in what we're doing. We're all that much more successful, more richer. And I'm not talking money wise. I'm just saying, in richer in life, and that we're all happy. And that's, in 5 years, I'd love to see everybody reach their goals that we talk about now, that we just obtain them and we work to get them. So that would, be the 5-year mark for me.
All right. Thank you. How about you, Clint?
In 5 years, I will be a household name. I will be the leading speaker on domestic violence prevention. I will continue to spread awareness in relation to the death of my sister. Um, I will have my son will be graduated. My daughter will probably be in the she's kindergarten. She'll be in the fifth grade, a fifth grader. I'm going to probably have about I say 20 published books. Um, if I would go money wise, just to give myself I think I'll be in about 5 years. I should be making in between 300 to 500,000 a year.
Okay. All right.
And I got one I'm gonna add, but I thought
Oh,
about it, but I'm gonna add it anyway. I
okay.
think in 5 years I may go ahead and settle down, get married or something.
Hey, you hang out with the you hang out with one fun guy, baby. You be ready.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and I mean because I feel like yeah I have a lot of experience in helping people to start and maintain healthy relationships. And yes, I do know how to start them and maintain them as well. However, I need to probably, I feel like I need to make sure that um, I could reach a broader, a better, I could reach a population that may be like, okay, because some people may say, well, how could you be a relationship expert and you're not married? But I have been in a relationship for about 15 years, so I do have that experience. It's just not on paper. This is married, So um, I think that's something that I'm gonna work towards in the near future, creating a more stability as it relates to a relationship. Not saying that just because you get married, that means that the relationship is going to be peaches and cream or extremely stable. Because we all have something that we can grow from. We all have something that we could might want to change, or we just have something that we would like to do different. So for me, 300 to $500,000 a year, a household name for domestic violence prevention, speaking on stages across the world. Um, my son to graduate. I'm gonna help him get a food truck. So he wants a food truck. I'm gonna get a food truck. I'm gonna keep teaching my daughter how to be respectful towards men and her part, and how to be a teammate with a person that she's going to enter into a relationship with. So I'm not teaching. In other words, I'm not teaching my daughter to be entitled. I'm teaching my daughter to be human. And so I would like to be able to teach. Well, I'm gonna teach people around me, or the people that the importance of humility, because I don't want my daughter running into no knucklehead that ain't been taught how to love. I want my son to do it, to run into nobody that's not been taught how to love. So I'm going to spread it. So that's my spiel.
All right. Okay. All right. Well, you know what? I used to do professional development. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to agree with both of you guys, and that's what I used to do at the end of my observation. And what I would do, I would sign off in agreement with you that that's what's going to happen. So what I would advise you in the audience to do, if you have any goals, and for one, dream. Go ahead and dream. Don't be scared to dream. There's nothing wrong with dreaming. Adults forget about dreaming after they go to these jobs, they go in these relationships, right? They forget about their dream. Connect with your dream. Believe in yourself. Put away the fear and love what you do and love you. So with that, we're going to be ending. These guys were awesome. I told you guys this was going to be a good show, right? I
Absolutely.
knew it because I admire both of these men. Just the work that they put out. I admire it. They're both pretty consistent. So I'm going to let them close out, tell you where you can find them at. Go ahead and tell our audience where to find you
Sure.
guys.
So again, Keisha and Roberta, thank you for having us on. It was an awesome show. I hope we can do it again.
Yes.
I am One Fun Guy Podcast across all the platforms. So on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, if you type in One Fun Guy Podcast, I should pop up. I usually have all my links listed in my bios everywhere. So on Facebook, if you type in One Fun Guy Podcast, all my links are listed there. Same with Instagram, same with YouTube, and on TikTok. So you can find me pretty much anywhere on social media. I'll be around.
All right. How about you, Clint?
Well, you can find me and the CP Senior Speaks across all platforms. Take a look at my TikTok. That's something that I've been having a success with. Also, I would like to add, I have a new book coming out. It's in the third phases of editing. It's called Wonder Why He Calls You Bitch, and it's understanding disrespectful behavior and when to walk away. And so that book will be out, and I'm pushing for the next couple of weeks. But it's something that I feel like that I know will change lives, and it will help people to refrain from entering into relationships that are toxic. And again, you can find me across all the social media platforms at CP Senior Speaks, and senior is SR, so it's not spelled out. Um, it's been fun. It's been fun. I would like to say thank you for having me as well. And I look forward to our future endeavors and and how we spread knowledge and education and
Oh, yeah.
get it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So thank you all. That is the end of the show tonight. Again, I'll be having these guys back around. And I'm pretty sure I'll be always a guest or a welcome
Yeah,
guest
yeah.
on One Podcast Guy.
Always.
One fun One Fun Guy podcast. We, like he said, we just clicked up. I love his wife. And of course, I love Clint. We go way back. So we go in the trenches, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we will certainly continue to work together. And again, these guys have so much knowledge, and they're basically just wanting you to succeed, want you to win, just like I do. So thank you for joining. Put it all on red. Good night.
There's a sparkle in your eyes.